to serve or worship no other God but the king, Daniel said, no, I'm not going to do that. I know who my God is. I'm not going to conform to those rules. And I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm going to keep praying. And verse 16, let's see. So the king gave the command, and they said, so they found out that he was like going against the law. And so they're like, okay, you need to be punished. So the king gave the command, and they brought Daniel and cast him down to the den of lions. But look what the king said. Your God whom you serve continually, he will deliver you. Yeah. And let's go to verse 20. And when the king came down after the next day, he spoke with a loud lamenting voice. He said to Daniel, Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God whom you serve continually, did he deliver you from the lions? Spoiler alert, yes he did. My God, this is what Daniel said, O king, live forever. My God sent his angel and shook the mouths of the lions, and they have not hurt me. Wow. Okay, that was 2 minutes. We already lost the challenge. But I want to fast forward to verse 25. When King Darius saw that Daniel was delivered from the lion's den, look what King Darius said. Then King Darius wrote, to all peoples, nations, and languages that dwell in all the earth, peace be multiplied to you. I make a decree that in every dominion of my kingdom, men must tremble and fear before the God of Daniel. Yes. For he is the living God, and steadfast or faithful. He is faithful forever. His kingdom is one which shall not be destroyed, and his dominion shall endure to the ends of the world. He delivers and rescues, and he works signs and wonders in heaven and on earth, who had delivered Daniel from the power of the lions. King Darius, he opened up his eyes and he saw. Even though Daniel was imprisoned, even though everything was working against Daniel, he held on to his God. He held on. He experienced physical imprisonment, but he was winning because he knows that he's fighting from victory. Yeah. Right? Okay, next one. Maybe I wouldn't do all of them. Okay, next one. Let's do the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Who knows the story? Yes. I remember reading the story when I was in Bible school, when I was like in the children's ministry, and then I was like, I don't know, I can't even pronounce the names, but now since we're growing, this is growth. I can pronounce it now. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. If we could all turn our Bibles to Daniel 3. God is beyond time, so I'm not going to time us today. That just made me get old and go. Okay, let's do it. Is everyone there? Yes. Are we ready to take this journey? Yes. Are we ready to take this journey? Yes. Okay. Daniel 3 verse 1. Nebuchadnezzar, the king, made an image of gold, who was humongous. I'm not going to say all that. It was huge. Okay? Huge. Verse 4. To you command, or the herald cried out, to you it is commanded, O peoples, nations, and languages, that at the time you hear the sound of the horn, the flute, the harp, and all these musical instruments in symphony with all kinds of music, you shall fall and worship the image of that king. What did it say? You shall fall down and worship. But there were these 3 men who knew God and who refused to bow down. Who refused to bow down. And so obviously the officials were like, why aren't you bowing down to the king's image? And so obviously they got caught, right? What happens when they got caught? Because those people were tattletales. And they told on those three men to the king. And we're going to skip all the way to verse 24. Is everyone there? 24. They refused to bow down to the king, to the image of the king, because they know that they have the one true king.
Amen.
Amen. So they refused to be in bondage to that, pattern. They refused to do it. So 24, then King Nebuchadnezzar was astonished, and he rose and spoke, saying to his counselors, did we not cast, oh wait, I'm going ahead of myself. Oh, here we go. Sorry, my bad. 15. Sorry. 15. We're like on a roller coaster today, but it's okay. Verse 15. Now, if you are ready at the time you hear the sound of the horn and worship the image which I have made, then good. But if you do not worship, you shall be cast immediately into the midst of a fiery burning furnace. And who is the God who will deliver you from my hands? He was even mocking God. Verse 16. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king. See, they had weapons of their warfare. These three had the full armor of God. Amen? Look what they said. They said, "O Nebuchadnezzar, we have no need to answer you in this manner." They're speaking from a point of royalty. Amen? They're speaking from a point of righteousness because they know that they have a God who has made them righteous. So they're speaking with authority here. They said, I don't need to talk to you and explain to you about things like this, is basically what they said. But they said, if that is the case, then our God, whom we serve, is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace. And he will deliver us from your hands, O king. But look at this, verse 18. This just blows my mind. We need to be like this sometimes, right? Verse 18. But if not, let it be known to you. So they have the shield of faith, right? Not backing down and not worshiping, shield of faith. And so now they're going to come out with the big guns. They're coming out on the offensive. And they use their mouths to do it. They use the Spirit of the Lord to do it. Coming out into the offensive. And they said this. If God doesn't deliver us, fine. But let it be known to you, O king, that we do not serve your gods, nor will we worship the gold image which you have set up.
Amen.
That was like a blow to the king's ego. Who are these three little Jewish men defying me, the king? But you see, we operate on the spiritual, not on the physical. Physically, the king has all the power in that land. But spiritually, God holds all the power. And because they were so connected with God, they believed it. That was a huge blow to the king's ego. So he was like in anger. He was like, burn them! Throw them into the fiery furnace. I don't care. They're going to see. I'm going to show them who the king is. I'm going to show them who I am. That is what the king said. That is what the king, he didn't say that, I'm paraphrasing. But in my mind, if I'm thinking of a scene, movie-wise, let's all watch this movie. Thinking of a scene where these three men defied me. They went against my law, the king. I'm in charge here. You're not in charge. Your God can't save you from my hand. So you know what? You saying those things to me, I'm going to throw you into the fiery furnace. And now we're going to go to verse 24. They're already in the furnace, so the king's probably like chilling, watching. They're like, okay, I'm going to watch them burn because that's just the kind of person he was. Right? Really crazy. I'm going to watch them burn. But then, 24, then the king was astonished. And he rose and spoke, saying to his counselors, did we not cast 3 men bound into the midst of that fire? And then they answered, True, O king. Yeah, we did. It was 3. And the king said, look, I see 4 men loose, walking in the midst of the fire, and they are not hurt, and the form of the 4th is like the Son of God. So they weren't only still alive in the fire, they were broken free from their bandages.
Right.
If God can do that in the spiritual sense or in the physical sense, imagine the things He's capable of doing in our Christian lives,
Right.
in our spirituality. The same power that broke those 3 free are living in each and every one of us.
Yeah.
We just have to open up our eyes to see that I am no longer bound to these chains. I am free. And this is a physical reenactment of what is going on in our spiritual walk. Look at that. Jesus was with them. Jesus was with them. You guys want to do one more? Are we getting the... Let's do one more. Let's do Elisha against the Arameans. The Arameans. Let's do one more. You guys okay with one more?
One more.
Are we awake?
Yes.
Are we okay with this?
Yes.
All right, Elisha against the Arameans, 2 Kings verse 6. Let's open up our Bibles to 2 Kings. Where's 2 Kings? After First Kings. 2 Kings verse 6. Oh, sorry. 2 Kings verse 6. Chapter 6, my bad. You're like, which verse? Yes. Chapter 6. Verse 8. Thank you, Mom. Everyone say thank you, Mom.
Thank you, Mama.
Hold on. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Let's actually start with verse... Fine, let's go from verse 8. Are we okay? Okay. Let's read along. I'm doing the NKJV version. The Kajif version. Verse 8. Now the king of Syria was making war against Israel. And he consulted with his servants, saying, my camp will be in this place and this place. And the man of God sent to the king of Israel, saying, beware that you do not pass through this place, and that place, because the Syrians are coming down there. Then the king of Israel sent someone to that said place, of which the man of God had told him, and warned them. And he was watchful, not just once or twice. Verse 11, therefore the heart of the king of Syria was greatly troubled by this thing. And he called his servants and said to them, will you not show me which of us is for the king of Israel? He's basically saying there's a mole. There's a double agent within our midst. Because how do the Israelites know where we're going before we even get there? So he's saying, will you not show me who is the mole here? Who is the double agent? And one of his servants, verse 12, said that no one is a double agent, my lord, my king. But Elijah, the prophet who is in Israel, tells the king of Israel the words you speak even in your own bedroom. So the king's mind was like, okay, so it's none of us, fine. I'm going to snuff this guy out. I'm going to take him out. What he said, in verse 13, he said, go and see where he is, that I may send and get him. And it was told to the king, saying, surely he is in Dothan. Verse 14, therefore he sent horses, chariots, and a great army there, and came by night and surrounded the city. What did he want to do? He wanted to kill Elisha, right? So he trapped him. He had the element of surprise. But what the king should have known is that even though Elisha seemed on the physical level trapped, spiritually, God was already giving him the discernment to know everything. Discernment to know that there was someone coming for him. Okay, therefore, he sent horses and chariots and a great army, and came by night for the element of surprise. 15. And when the servant of the man of God arose, so when Elisha's servant arose, let's just put ourselves, we're serving Elisha, we're his personal assistant, right? And so we get up early, and we're like, okay, normal day, right? Normal day. And then he arose, and he went out, and there he saw, surrounding the city with horses and chariots. How will you react? It's just a normal day, and all of a sudden the devil's got it out for me. It's just a normal day, and all of a sudden this thing happened and ruined the rest of my day. It's just a normal day. And he goes out there. Imagine if you're Elisha's servant. I'm going out there just chilling, doing my routine, you know. And then you see a great army. What are you going to think? I'm going to die. Right? You're trapped. You're trapped. Nowhere else to go. The entire city was trapped. So you're thinking, oh gosh, we're defeated. Tell your mom and dad you love them now. You know, right? You're very, eat the meal that you want, your last meal. Just go for it. We're going to die, Elisha. So what did he say? He says to Elisha, and his servant said to him, alas, my master, what do we do? Who else looks at your life and thinks, God, what do I do? Who else looks at their mountain? Who else looks at their problem and think, what do I do? But Elisha was so chill. He was so chill because he knows the strength of his God.
Amen.
So Elisha said, do not fear, for those who are with us are more than those who are with them. So give a shout of praise to this. Say, those who are with me. Say it. Those who are with me are more than those who are with them. So open up your eyes, church. Open up your eyes, church.
Good job, Poppy.
Open it up and see. The next verse, what did Elisha say? Lord, I pray you open his eyes that he may see. And then the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire. Look at that. Let's say, you're a king and queen of God's promise. You're a king and queen of the kingdom of God. Amen? Right? We're fighting our battles. Amen? We got a shield, we got a sword, we're on the offensive, defensive, and you open up your eyes and you see that you are not alone. You open up your spiritual eyes and you see that you are not alone. You are not alone. You are free. When the general goes in front of the line during battle, he is free to go ahead and slay every single opponent because he knows that he's backed up with more soldiers. We are backed up by spiritual soldiers. We are backed up with not only a community in this church, we are backed up by the saints of God. We are backed up by God himself. He will send an army after us. And why should we be afraid? Let's all stand as I am closing. Let's all stand. God, I am free. Say that. God, I am free. God, I am free. Oh, we worship you, Lord. Be enthroned in this place, Jesus. There is a person who gave up everything so that we can be free. There is a person who held on to his faith, who held on to his God, even in the midst of trials, even in the midst of tribulations, even in the midst of the cross. He held on to his God because he knew that greater is he who is within me. And he did all of that because he believed in the purposes of God. He believed. He believed in God and trusted God with everything. Church, don't you know that we can give God anything if He is our everything? Jesus Christ humbled down to Himself. Jesus Christ humbled Himself down. The Creator, the King, took form of the created. He humbled Himself down in obedience to the point of death because His God meant everything to Him. And what the world may see as victory, what the world may see as defeat, was revealed as victory when He rose from the dead 3 days later. And that same resurrecting power lives in me. Say that. That power lives in me. Lord, I surrender to You. Let's take maybe 1 or 2 seconds or a couple of seconds to just reflect and recommit ourselves to God, knowing that we are fighting from victory, knowing that we are no longer slaves. I know how hard it is to fight your battles. I know how hard it is to fight our addictions. Believe me, I know how hard it is when that thing has taken root so deep into your heart that you don't even know if you can break free from it. But I have good news from You. I have good news for You, church. That the Spirit of the Lord is in this place. Not only in this place, the Spirit of the Lord is dwelling within you. And He has the power and authority to overrule every single thing that you think is taking root into your heart. Release it to Him. Come on right now, release it to Him. Whatever it is that has gotten you down, whatever it is that is keeping you from breaking free, release it to Him. Lord, I surrender it to You. Lord, with my hands up in the air, I surrender it to You. And I believe that I am free. Even though I don't feel it, I am free. Even though it doesn't look like it, I know I am free. And in advance of the victories that You have won already, the victories that You have won for me, I thank You. And I worship You. With our hands in the air, repeat after me. Say, Abba Father. I worship You. I empty myself before You. So that You can fill me with Your Spirit. Lord, I surrender my life to You. I surrender everything to You. And I know, God, that I am victorious. And I know, God, that I am free because of what Jesus did. So, Lord, lead me in Your Spirit every single day of my life so I can walk in freedom. In Jesus' mighty name. Amen and amen. Can we get the worship team up here? We're going to sing this new song, Freedom. Now, I know that people always make fun of me because every time I end a sermon, we sing or worship. But truth is, we worship all the time.
Yes.
Now, we're going to sing this song, and with everything within us, we're going to believe every single line of the song. So just break free in this place and rejoice. Amen?
Yeah, we're free.
Yes.
Come on, let us rejoice
Lift your voice. Lift your voice. Where the Spirit of the Lord, there is freedom. There is freedom. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. There is freedom. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. Now come out of the dark. Come out of the dark. Out of the dark. Just as you are. To the fullness of